We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes till showtime, boys. Man, I have so many past broadcast like VODs to upload to YouTube. I was supposed to do it last week. A lot happened. I pushed it off. I got caught up editing, and then I'm like, oh, now I missed my I think Tuesday. Tuesday is probably the best day to spam upload. A little more Sunday. Because no one uploads shit on Sunday anyway. But normally it's supposed to be 2 videos. You can ignore 2 videos. But when I got upload like 6, that's where it gets like, ooh, that's what the fuck, man. Too much, you know. Oh shit, I gotta. I'm not even live yet. Okay, I am back. Let's start the thing. We'll stream. Well, it's still 2 minutes away, but who are we to, stop? Who are we to take our damn time, etc. Do this and then this. We're live. We're live, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, how was your week? Or how was week? Also, thank you so much, Fluff. Appreciate the support, my friend. Fluff just subscribed with a Twitch Prime sub. Absolutely massive. Always appreciate the support. It's absurd. You've also been subscribed for 32 months. Currently on a 17-month streak. Just the 32 months is just a fucking riot. But thank you so much for the everlasting support, Fluff. Also, what's good, Lone Syndicate? What's good, Fluff? Lone Syndicate says, what's up, Grim? What is up with y'all, guys? I've been talking too much about me, frankly. How is it going with you? How has your week been? What are you excited for games-wise? Lone Syndicate keep me posted on the games he's playing. If memory serves, he's doing the Day to Live game. He's doing Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead 2. And one more. I thought it was like one Genshin as well, but I'm missing one. I remembered 80% of it. I would say that's a pass. Okay. Also, Fluff, I want to ask, are we in the clear, my boy? Are we saved? In terms of the horrible, not good feeling kidney stone situation. Carthage, what's good, Carthage? Oh, Carthage, by the way, I'm so sorry. I keep pushing off. Every time I go to my Discord, I see there's something in the Share Your Grin tab, and I see it, and I'm like, okay, I feel like that might be a book update. I'm gonna come back, because this is gonna be a whole thing, and then I keep just tiptoeing back, and then I keep seeing, it's gonna happen, but I just keep kicking the ball down the pipeline a little bit. I'm excited to read it, because I do want updates, because I think the books you read are crazy amazing, and I just don't have the time to read them, which is why I like to vicariously live through you. But Carthage says, I am not happy. As of 7 hours ago, I am now 27. Or 29. Sorry, I know I said 27. You just got that aura 27. This is not okay. I am only 1 year away from 30. Grin, please. Use your time power to stop this. Address. First of all, happy birthday, Carthage. What are you, 7 hours? Happy belated late birthday. I'll try to throw that in there in tomorrow's stream. I'll be streaming pretty early, actually. That might actually line up. It's like 11 p.m. where we're streaming on Twitch. The gaming conference, Bethesda weirdness, Xbox weirdness. So tune into that, hopefully, guys, tomorrow. But that is crazy. Also, Carthage, do you think I possess time mitigation, aging things? Nah, fam. I'm 25, dog. And I look it badly. I'm convinced that like 90% of like aging, like look wise, is about like you can reduce wrinkle shit with just skincare. Put some like lotion type shit on your face. You'll be good to go. All right. But then there's the hairline. And I feel like if you try to hang on to your hairline, that ages you. Whereas if you just fucking go full on cue ball, you just bald it up, you can keep that shit solid, like not a single hair in sight, not even a little stubble. You look twice as young. It's like shaving a beard, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, beard keeps you like above 12 years old. The hair though, when it starts climbing, keeps you from like, it's, for me, it's starting to happen to you guys. I talked to you guys about it beforehand. It's happening. Yeah. I still am not sure. I talked to my doctor about like all the hair mitigation things where you're like, I don't know why I made this about me. I'm sorry. But I went to talk to my doctor about all these. They got like basically Rogaine. It's like there's two types. I forget the names of them, but there's two types of like hair prevention loss things. One of them is like a cream you put on, and then the other one is a straight up pill that basically inhibits. So the reason why you start losing your hair, I went into the whole rabbit hole one night because it's starting to annoy me. But basically, the reason why you start losing hair is because your body starts, when you get older, your body starts taking testosterone and converting it into a different kind of thing. When that has the, you start losing hair, you maybe start growing hair out of your ears, whatever it could be. Facial hair goes more, that kind of stuff. But apparently there's this pill that stops that from happening. But there's like out of 100 men, 3 of those men will have an effect of it's pretty drastic. So like your what do you call it? Your fucking what's it called? Your sex drive could get all fucked up if you're on these pills. You could also get all these kind of weird things happening to you. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know if I want to. What if I'm that 1 in 3%? That's terrifying to me. I don't want to lose that aspect of the male brain, essentially. Some people do. But yeah. But anyways, my doctor like convinced me against it. Not because he was afraid of the actions. It just seemed like he didn't think it would work. But then I looked into the data, and the one he suggested to me, which was that fucking cream you put on your hair, does nothing. Everyone says like it's like 1 in, and gets 40% of people who try it will get any effect, which is like, oh, that's less good. Whereas at least the other one, it was like, no, it helps. But also the thing is that most people don't know when it comes to all that kind of stuff. You have to do it for like 6 months straight because your hair goes through a kill cycle essentially. And if you don't be consistently on it. Also, I can't wait to play this game. I think it's on PC, which is good. I thought it wasn't because at the end here it says like Xbox and PS4, but then I looked on Steam and it said it was coming out too, so fingers crossed. But yeah, basically you just need to stay with it for 6 months. Also, these things are expensive, kind of. I mean, like it's like $60 for 2 months essentially for one of them, which is a bit. Granted, you can like use less of it and get by because it's like kind of overkill a lot of the. Anyways, just thought I'd talk about it because to me, as much as it's one of those things which I care about for me as an individual, like the fact that I'm losing my hair. It's like, this is annoying, but at the same time, it is like when I see someone who is like cue ball, like just shaves their hair, I don't think anything besides rad, besides neat. You can wear a beanie, you can look cute 1,000 different ways. So for me, I don't know. It's like my own preconceived judgment of myself. Whereas I don't hold that judgment to anybody else. I'm not just saying that, by the way, it's genuine, but I don't know. I think, but also I know so many people go through it, and I think I'm in stage 2. I think there's 4 stages in total. I'm in stage 2 where I'm like trying to hang on, and eventually you just say, you know what? Fuck it, get away from me. I'm done. It's what it is, and then you just reach harmony, and I hope I can get to there someday. Hi. Welcome. We're streaming. Yeah. Hi. It was quite the detour. Fluff says, week has been going well. One of the big overhaul mods for Conan Exile got updated, and it's pretty neat. Although there's a conflict with the author mod that has caused a big invisible wall that will have to wait to be addressed later. Interesting. Okay. Okay. As of my health, at the moment, everything is just about pain-free. Oh, nice. Kidney stone seems to be a pass about a full month after it started. Nice. Unfortunately, it caused an infection that lasted about half the last week and was cleared by the week. Okay, at least there's that, Fluff. At least we're home free. Thank God, man. It also makes sense, like the causality of you getting really into Path of Exile is kind of like I need to get away from the pain, or like need to ignore the trauma of like ache constantly in my body. Lozingit says, my week has been good. They changed my scheduled work. That was a bit annoying, but good nonetheless. My day was a bit productive. Today did some drawing, and Grin, are you missing 2 games? Kingdom Hearts 2 and Counterside. What is Counterside, Lone Syndicate Ken? Also, Kingdom Hearts, I wouldn't consider that to be You've like this. That's a game that you've played 50 times. You know, I don't know if I'd be like, yes. Also, what is this? Oh, it looks like the developers made that one game that looked like a fucking it was like a crazy fever dream. Yeah, like it was like hard to watch because there was so many strobe lights and shit. But it looks like the same developer almost. Like this kind of quick pace, gun it through an environment as fast as you humanly possibly can, and then be done with it. It looks cool. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I didn't watch the Devolver Showcase because, as much as I like the weirdness, it's also okay. A lot of feet, a lot of feet meta. But yeah, as much as I don't know. There's a point when like I'm so not aware of the lore of whatever is going on with Devolver's presentations, to where I'm like, okay. It just feels so attached or detached. I'm like, yeah, what? Like, oh, it's the worst. But it looks cute, you know, neat. Carthage says, on the upside, my beard is almost long enough to be a Viking. Are you gonna do it, Carthage? Because that's a power move if I've ever seen it. I've never seen someone be able to like pull off the braided like Norse look without being like, you know what, I've decided to live for myself. Not for everybody else, but just for me. Not that it can't look good, it's just that I feel like passively people are going to give you a lot of side glances and judgment. Not negative judgment necessarily, although you may convince yourself that it is negative. Yeah. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to, well, let me catch up because I'm going on a tangent again. Fluff says, the tooth that had a cavity with starting back around when COVID lockdown happened, all that, you had a basically bad cavity happen. The tooth fell out. Money. So I'm likely going to need to get a root canal and crown, but at least it doesn't hurt anymore. Interesting. Why? If it fell out, I don't know, actually. I guess, yeah. So when your tooth falls out, even if it's cavitied, you have to still get some shit, like, fixed with it? Like, you have to, like, get something to fill it? It wouldn't just auto-seal? Am I understanding that right? Because I've never had a tooth fall out as an adult. Also, if that was really loud, I'm sorry. Because it's connected, it may vibrate through the mic. Ugh. Carthage says, Kingdom Hearts. Don't try to understand that story. Too much effort for far too few answers. Yes, I was about to say. To me, man, like, what do you call it? We were talking when we were watching the what is it called? Not Kingdom Hearts. Final Fantasy stories. I was talking to everyone, being like, I don't know when to jump in, and I don't know if they're so okay. I don't know if they're so connected or so. Are we fucked up here? Let me just. Sorry, guys. Give me a quick sec. I would imagine, yep, we're fine. Sorry, I just really don't want to get bad enough to it. But what do you call it? I don't know when to jump into Final Fantasy. I wonder if are they connected in some way, or are they like? Is there eventually a point where it's kind of just subtle nods? Like I always wondered that about the like K-pop band boy group that like is exploring. I wanted to play that a lot. Until I seen like the ending of it made me depressed, or like I seen somebody like make a thing of it and I was like, this looks sad. And I was like, oh, but also it's like not sad. It's not one of the endings that's sad. It's just one of the endings that's like they do that thing where they go so far in the future to where you're like, oh, okay, I guess they died. Or something. It's like it doesn't give you like hope for the future. It kind of tells you everything, or at least that was maybe an ending which happened. But boys. Also, with that, and we're not done yet. So, Lozing says, Counterside is the other, the mobile gamer, right? Man, Lozing, you playing too many games, and you got a job, my guy? Woof. You are cooking. I don't know how your brain's not melted. Speaking of which, they just released a remastered version of the game, alongside I Did Live, and I have a blast at some of the changes that they made. Okay, so like the Counterside, or... I'm playing alongside Data Live. Speaking of which, so I think speaking of which means I think Data Live got a remaster. Gotcha. So it got a bunch of new things. Neat. I get enough stares about my beard here in Taiwan. Anyway, I was about to say you don't see many of those things in them Asian countries. At least in my understanding. If it is, it's like from some sort of like, it's like gray and wisdom based, not like some sort of Yeti beard, you know? Holy shit. I never thought about that. Imagine if you had some sort of like lumberjack looking Caucasian man with a giant like poofy beard, not like stringy, like poofy, and just haul assing down like the middle of kind of an Asian street. I feel like everyone is so methodical about having like certain beauty standards there, which is like, you know, shallow cheekbones, pencil thin nose, shit like that. I don't know how it is for dudes. I think dudes kind of circumnavigated a lot by like, you know, maybe status or money or whatever. Yeah, it's true. People who have been playing it since childhood, killing it probably for the Kingdom Hearts thing. I can see that. See, I like my lore interesting, but like a lot to play with in your mind. You know what I mean? That's like the Fable lore in a nutshell. Like you can wrap your head around all of this, all the Fable stuff, real easily. You know what I mean? The only game that are connected to the Final Fantasy titles are the ones that share a number. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, and I don't know. I can't read Roman numerals. Never learned. Sorry. It is what it is. The rest of them standalone titles, so they'll be fine. Okay, interesting. So is it a new one, a standalone one, Fluff, or is this one connected? 7, 10, and 30. Thank you. I feel like it was also a lot of work to put FFX. Maybe not if you memorized the Final Fantasy thing. 16 is brand new. Okay, cool. Okay, so maybe we can jump into that. When I seen the gameplay, this is the other thing. This is one of the aspects when I seen the gameplay. It looked kind of detached a little bit. Although, like, to me, it does seem like if Dragon Age Inquisition is like you basically on like you can literally see that like you look like you're playing on a chess piece. You're playing on a circle, and your character's like whoa, whoa, and like doing a bunch of magic. And that one, it looks like you can kind of jump around a little bit, but it still looks like everything's kind of like you know in like action movies where everyone's just floating around each other, like in fucking The Matrix, where everyone just kind of like dun, 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 dun. And it looks kind of weirdly like you're like floating, and there's like two like it's like kids holding two action figures going like whoa. It looks insane is what I'm getting at. Also, the thing I want to tell you guys about is my extremely okay. So I told you guys how my feet got like super swollen basically when I was working. We basically woke up at 8, spent all day on ladders in a incredibly hot shop, working on the side of a truck, putting a decal on it and stuff like that. So basically we overheated like crazy, and also it was like just sweaty nightmare hell in there. Regardless, my feet like swelled up like fucking huge to the point where like I pushed into my foot essentially, and not even my foot, my calf, and there was like a giant crater, like a huge crater that stayed there for like 20 minutes. Turns out you're not supposed to do that. It bruised. It was horribly uncomfortable as well after I did that. But yeah, so I have various feet problems, turns out. Also, I think I just was really low on potassium, which helps you like get rid of salt, which we had a lot of salt that day. Regardless, I've been putting off getting a proper shoe for a hot minute. I've always just grabbed I was the guy who wore Converse, you know. I still love Converse. If Converse had a bigger feet box, like toe box, I guess it was called, I would prefer it. Also, this game looks really cool. The camera makes me want to like die though. Like that laughs to make me fucking throw up. Like this looks great, but it's when it starts like whipping behind him and shit that I want to have an aneurysm. I want to have that actually. Anyways, so I purchased a thing, a shoe. I don't want to talk about how much money it is. Let's just say it was American US dollars. It was $150. Which is, you know, that's like, I think shoes can have anywhere from like $80 or $60 to $230, unless you're buying like for some sort of other reason, like you know, like scarcity or something. But this one was $160. And I've heard a lot of reviews for it. But also, what do you call it? Why would you pay 200 for shoes? Oh, it's not just 200, Nub. But, you know, let's just say that's what it was. Okay. Now, granted, I worked my ass off that whole week, and I made a decent bit of money because we worked so much. But I didn't spend all of it either. Well, actually, I bought kettlebell things, so I might have actually spent the money I worked for, which is fine. Again, YouTube money, Twitch money, separate file. We're not using that. That's for games and whatever, graphics cards or cameras or whatever happens down the line. But this was gotten by my own thing. This is my boot. Now, fun thing is, I also pursued a boot that basically had a big toe box and was very basically like good for your foot, so to speak, and also something I could work out in. So yes, these are my clown shoes. Look how fucking big that toe box is, baby. God damn it. Right here. Yes. Yeah. It is quite big. And the toe box is really huge. You can't really tell, but that shit is like clown shoes. Like, especially when you look at it, yeah. It's just like goes up here or goes here and then slightly has this. I have so much real estate here in my toes. I can move them around like crazy. That's big. It feels big, man, compared to what I have. Well, the main thing I was mainly looking for, though, is just to have a shoe that has a big toe box, and that's the whole point of the shoe. It also has like, oh shit, sorry. It also has like a very thin. So most shoes have a thing like this. So you can see that like most shoes climb up like this, like they're on a thing. This one is pretty flat with a slight thing like this, like a slight incline. And yeah, thus far. Now the funny thing is, in the reviews I looked up, it was fucking hilarious. And one of the reviews was people like, majority of the reviews were people being like, the shoe is the best, love the shoe, shout out to this shoe, bang 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 bang, great. But there was also some people saying, yeah, the shoe like rubbed my ankle bone and it just ripped my skin open. So I was like, oh. And I read more reviews, and people basically said, yeah, these shoes are great, but the first week you have them are going to be painful because they have to quote unquote break them in. Funny thing is, I don't actually use shoes too much. But also it's just been like, I don't think I've ever owned a decent pair of shoes. It's always Converse, which are like $20 or something. Fucking brutal. But yes, I need to break them in. But I thought, what do you guys think? I think they're also kind of like military boots for like policemen and such. And like, there's also one in like desert sand, essentially like kind of like sand color. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's just a solid ass boot. Yeah. Also expensive. Expensive. Thoughts. Combat. Yeah, it's kind of what it is. Yeah. But the idea of the boot, it's kind of supposed to be like a minimalistic boot though. So like when you're walking, and this is the really weird feeling on the boot. When you're walking, you can literally feel like a pebble underneath your foot, which is weird. And the idea is that it's supposed to like make it so that your bones can actually grab the ground. And because I've done so much kettlebell stuff and I always work out barefoot, my feet are actually like freakishly muscular. Like I got giant bulbs popping on my foot, and no, they're not like weird cysts I checked. It's literally a muscle or whatever. It's not a good thing to have, by the way. It's not attractive having fucking shredded feet. But regardless, that's what's happened. And I have a huge arch and whatnot, so I find that actually works good. But the problem with me, man, is I walk on my tippy toes. Like my heel very rarely touches the ground, and if you see my feet are freakish. No, I'm not showing my feet, but I have like the biggest arch and like the weirdest structurally shaped feet because I basically walk like a fucking werewolf or something, like a dog on its hind legs with its thing not touching the ground. Yeah, it's odd, but because of that, I'm hoping the shoes will eventually break in so I can continue to walk on my basically my feet, my top of my feet, where my knuckle bones are, on my finger or my toes, I guess. What that is. Let me catch up on chat. They're using Roman numerals and tends to be how they number the games. Aren't 7, 8, and 9 maybe connected? I don't know. I'm 7 or 8. Also, what's good? Nub says, yes, Grin, this week has been great games for because Diablo Immortal. Yeah. Well, Nub, I've heard two things. I've heard some people who are like, this is a con, this is the worst example of gaming ever. And then I've heard people who are like, if you just don't engage with any of the microtransactions, it's not actually like a bad, it's like a fun game, but if you just don't look at the microtransactions at all. And I think that's to a point. I think when you try to get to endgame, it starts to get like significantly throttled. But I think that's, I've heard two things where people are like, just if you play like entirely free to play and you refuse to spend a dime, you're actually, it's not bad. Whereas if you, and I don't know, because to me, is that the idea? Is that like someone at Blizzard's like thought process is like, well, we want to capitalize on like whales and people who are willing to expand, like spend an exorbitant amount of money, but we also want to create something for the people who just don't have to do that at all and can still get like 80% of the game if they want. But this 90%, this is the thing, that's where it gets weird. But I think also the most dedicated players want to push into endgame, and I think endgame is in some ways restricted, and that's probably the weird balancing act there. Although I am on the same board of like hearing the most horrible shit about the game and how like all of its systems are complicated and super anti gamer like consumer kind of stuff. So yes. Losika says, true, to wrap your head around Kingdom Hearts lore, you not only have to play all of the games in order, might I add that you can get by there, but maybe a few things you need to have explained to you, maybe. Red and S, yeah, like a person's breakdown of it. I feel like you'd be better off just watching a movie, or like a person's quick breakdown of it. The video is somewhat going around all and save yourself. Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like I've seen videos trying to explain it, and it seems like it's too much. But yeah, guys, it's just too much for the boots. Well, I don't know, man, because I agree that you can get like great shoes for like that's it. Like, well, sorry, you can get great shoes for like what do you can get amazing shoes from Costco that are just like the same thing I kind of want, open toe box. But I found it really hard to get the thing that I wanted, which was basically because I had such a problem with my feet basically being in a bad situation. Having this, god damn it, having this giant heel thing, this boot, when this is tightened, it basically takes pressure off of your foot. So I thought that's what I wanted. It's hard to find something like that. And then I also wanted something with a wide toe box. And I also wanted something that didn't like wasn't really like hot, because I run really hot, so most of my feet are like roasting essentially. So the fact that this was also very thin, like this is all just a thin material, so I can easily breathe through it. Also, I don't know. I guess I don't really give myself. Yeah, like I've spent the last like. I would say in the last like 8 months, I've spent maybe 5% of what I've made in that time, you know? But yeah. So I thought, we could splurge on things that I think would, like, if I bought a pillow, I'd splurge on it. If I bought underwear, I would probably go and buy something nice. If I bought shoes, anything that you're going to use persistently all day and that doesn't really degrade, then why not, you know? Nub says, why you paid? Yeah, no, it was more than that, unfortunately. Again, it was probably too much in hindsight, but it's over. It's done. Also, I'm changing it up, saying we're having iced coffee, baby. I don't know if it's worth anything or if it's like gonna be the good or bad, but yeah. Nub says, that's big. Well, I also don't have the biggest feet. I'm a size 10, and like yeah, so I don't have gigantic feet. Take with that with what you will. I think that's normal. And I might have big. Well, no, the shoe itself is not necessarily big. It's the toe box that's huge. And I think that's like most shoes have this like incline. Like they have like they try to make your foot look slim because that's what it supposedly looks nice. I don't know who the fuck's looking at your feet, but tell them to stop. Anyways, but yeah, the fact that you have, in fact, if you look at like the best ergonomic shoes, and you look at all the ratings, it's hilarious. The first shoe that comes up is a clog, like a fucking big ass, huge looking clown shoe. And it's just because it has such real estate for your feet to actually spread out and not be constricted all the time. Your bones are not supposed to do that, apparently. Granted, I do think people's feet are different based on the job that they do. So I talked about me having like really muscular feet because of the exercises that I do, and my feet always having to grab because we're throwing around a weight that's dragging me this way, so my whole body has to resist, and your feet kind of get good at like digging in. But the what is it? What was I saying? Feet dig in. But if you're like for me and my feet were not used to like standing all day in one spot for like 12 hours or something. So that's if you do have work that's like that. I bet there's a shoe that's specifically designed to cradle your foot in such a way that lessens that. Although I think just standing on your feet for 12 hours straight without moving at all is hugely bad. Granted, if you do have any sort of movement in your day, you should be better. But yeah. Carthage says, that looks like it's on the big side of an average or small side of big. Yeah, no, I was about to say, for me, I think I just have small feet. Like, generally. Well, it's in terms of men. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, though. If you have a size 9 feet, you're a king. Okay. I heard the saying I fucking love so much is when someone says they're on that king shit. I'm talking about a dude who's like what do you call it, working his ass off. He's on that king shit. I love it. The coffee is actually delicious. Holy shit, it's actually really good. Carthage says, breaking in the boots can be quite painful. Yes, I'm kind of, but the thing is, Carthage, okay. I don't really know how to do it because I don't move a lot. Like, I'm not putting on shoes and like running all the time. I sit at my desk editing and I work out aggressively. And I'm going to put them on when I work out to see if I can break them in. But I'm also like, well, how the fuck is this gonna happen in terms of like, what if I'm hoping that what I'm doing, like, I look like a psychopath when I'm like watching something or having downtime. I'll just be sitting there, and apparently the thing that'll fuck you up is this back of your heel just rubs against your heel and rips off your flesh. Like a horrible thing. So I'm just sitting here like a weirdo, just doing this, just pushing down this this corner. So I'm just sitting there watching like anime while I'm doing this. And like I'm trying to stick my hand in the goddamn thing and like trying to push it out like this, and I'm just sitting there fully into what I'm doing, and it just touching on this shoe like a freak. But yeah. So I'm hoping that I can break them in that way. Again, it's probably just a battle of attrition over time. I'll eventually do it, but I'm not necessarily using the shoes all the time, which maybe it's a bad investment, but you know. Your feet don't get bigger, so you'll have it for the rest of your life. Lone Singet says combat boots. Yeah, looks similar like that. Yeah. There's also a green version. Yeah, I think that they designed them specifically for people who are in military positions or police positions to do barefoot training, because their feet got so like, most of their boots are so like together because they don't want to like have a nail shoot through their foot, so they're using shoes that are super fucking like grabbing their foot and making it like covered in steel, etc. Like kind of weird versions of steel toes, I think. I don't actually know the reason. That's why I think that would be happening. Carthage knows more about military things than me. But yeah, this was something that they made so that they could kind of try to reclaim some of that weirdness that their foot started to experience when they had so much, grab, etc. But yes. Nub says, I'll tell you what I think after you tell me the price, because I say $200. You said it's a lot more than... Let's not talk about it. It's not important, Nub. I already know what you think, based on your assessment above. Carla says, breaking news. GRINN starts and only... No. No. I have yet to see a straight man make an OnlyFans that's not like fucking obscenely like pretty and all that, you know? Like when like no one's if there was a guy who did like there's like levels to weird like OnlyFans people's marketing situations, and one of them is like, hey, I'm just doing like lewd cosplay, but not gonna show giblets. Eventually, I think they mostly show giblets. But anyways, then there's the parameter of like, okay, well, what if there's just a person who's like, hey, I'm not really into this heathen shit, but I like cosplay, and sometimes it's lewd. Do you want to support me? I've yet to see a dude pull that off. Now, granted, I think you could find, you could go into certain environments with a high probability of other dudes that appreciate men or whatever, and I think you could pop off. But I feel like it would require a lot of marketing in that direction. But anyway. Nub says, both are true. Wait, what was it referring to? Carthage says, nope. Let's not. I agree. I agree, Lindsay. Subscribe starts at 10 months. $10 a month. That's a little bit pricey, let's be honest. Daily uploads guaranteed. man. Could you... Well, what happened to the music? What happened to the music? Also, let me poll the chat real quick. If you had that deal where you literally could just like I don't know, you'd literally just like make a list and be like, step on cheese, whatever, fucking, I don't know, like smush somebody's face with your toe, whatever the hell gets people's rocks off. You can just like make a bunch of shit and be like, one of these are gonna hit. And you just did that for like maybe a day. You just did that for a day. You wrote down all these and then you just execute. You did like 2 hours of work doing all this shit, and then you had like 3 months worth of content. Would you guys do that if there was a thing where like there was a demand, or like you could and like you had you tried, you had success, and you could see that you could keep doing this? How many of you would do it? No one ever gonna see your face. You just make basically like $50K a month, and you just do like an hour. Okay, I don't mean to get mean with people who do whatever and devaluing their effort or work, but you know, it just seems like a thing. Compared to, you know, other people getting after it, these people have found a way to gamify perversion in a way that is unparalleled. The feet community is something else. It's freakish, almost as bad as the not as bad, sorry, but it's like it's the same thing as if you want to be an aspiring artist and make some bank, start drawing weird furry shit, and you'll just make bank immediately. I've read so many like comments of people being like, yeah, so the most money I ever made in a year was when I made a concession and said, fuck it, I'll start drawing this, and then I just, holy shit, yeah, but also, holy shit, that's effort. Requests will be considered. No, they will not. Carthage is pimping me out, and I don't like it. But Nub says both are true. What are true? The issue is I see. The both are true in terms of it being shitty monetary value for Diablo Immortals, as well as it being a fun experience if you don't dig into the thing, the monetization. The issue is progress. The issue is progression is not existent if you don't pay at all. Oh, I see. Gotcha. I wonder if they're gonna pivot a little bit, or if that's gonna stay the course. Carter says dirty socks for sale. Price varies on amount of filth. That's fucking awful. That was the worst. Oh, that's the worst sentence I've ever read. Oh my god. Oh no. What is wrong with human beings? I'm sure Carthage has in some way received that information or has seen that. What a horrible nightmare. Nub says it's 10x worse than Lost Ark. Interesting. Is it when you compare it to Genshin? Because Genshin, like, arguably you can still progress, but it just takes a long time. Fluff says it's one of the most predatory examples of greed I've seen. What do you call it? Path of Exiles? Yeah, definitely seems like this is not hopefully the future. Yeah, like also apparently what is it called? I don't know why. I still don't like it, but I kind of feel better about it if it's like this. But what's the game where you get isekai'd as this girl who has like weird magic powers? Forspoken. There we go. I got it. Forspoken. I think that's what it's called. That is apparently it's $10 more than your average game. So if a game is $60 normally, it's gonna be $70. And for Canadians, it's probably gonna be $100 because our games are like 80 or something, or 88 with like weird nonsense. So yeah, probably expensive. But do you guys like that more? If it means that you're gonna get a one-to-one single player experience without any microtransactions with a good bit of content, maybe. I think it's just everyone's knee-jerk reaction to that is, I would have agreed to that if it was maybe like a Skyrim game. But how can I know for sure that I'm going to get enough to warrant that $10? Because oftentimes if we do pay more, we're hoping to get more, or what is more than what we've previously gotten in other games in other generations. And yeah. Nub says I played it and it's really good game for mobile. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard a lot of people say it's really well done. Like, it's actually very fun. And yeah, Fluff says that just makes it even more painful though. That's because it had the means to be such a good game, but then was capitalized through greed and made it so that it wasn't able to be enjoyed to that extent. I just seen, sorry, we're catching up on Chad. Nub says, cause people keep finding newer and worse mechanics every day. Recently they found out that the free gems you get are untradeable, so you can never upgrade properly. Great. Yeah, it also just seems systematized in such a way that's bad. You know what it also feels like, Nub? It feels like in games like this, which I've heard consistently that Diablo Immortals is a very fun game, like really interesting to play. But it's like its monetary system is just garbage, like super garbage, confusing. Like at least Genshin, you're like, okay, I see what you're doing, you know, I get it. But at least you can like still have fun. Just it's a slower process, you know. Still not great. Still like FOMO, still there. Endgame, non-existent really. Anyways, but it does to me literally seem like game developers versus like publishers. It literally seems like we made a good game, and then publishers are like, yeah, just let me give it to me for a couple minutes. And it's like, why are you talking that way? Why are you also drooling so much? And they're like, come on, I own you, bitch. Give me the thing. And they get it, and they just and they rip it to shreds. Anyways. High five. Nub says, I would also Carthage, buddy. We are playing a game that I think you would love. It's on YouTube. It's the Eldritch Horror dating sim. I know time schedules are a nightmare, but it's a fun time. Every time we're playing it, I'm thinking of Lone Syndicate, Fluff, Nub, and you, because I feel like it's just right up y'all's alley. Maybe, possibly, maybe I'm judging or projecting. Who knows? Nub says, I would comment more on your purchase of the shoe, but I paid like $600 for my mouse. What? That is wow. I mean, if the mouse lasts for like a long time, I think that's pretty good. But my mouse is like maybe $80, if that, you know. But woof. Carthage says hydrate. I will. Carthage says, Nub says, I'm size 11 and a half. Okay, so you're not that much bigger than my feet. Yeah, we're only one tick above. Actually, looking at my feet, I can see what you mean now. What do you mean? What, the toe box? Yeah, I have a ton of toe space as well. Yeah. Some shoes are pretty good, but I also think you need to be careful because sometimes you can be like, you can spread out your feet and be like, oh yeah, that like I have space. But even if it's angled into a point, like where it kind of does this and then has like a sharp incline where your pinky toe is going like that. Then that just like whenever you move forward or whenever your show moves around, it will bash its toes into that and then sequence weirdly. So it still has that kind of problem where it kind of crams your toes together. Lindsay says, I remember my friend who had never played Kingdom Hearts tried to get into it and played it for played 3 games, which was a mistake. And then he asked me about it, and I literally told him, hey, I can sit here and explain it to you, the whole story in detail. And in order, but you will only just gonna get more confused by the end of it. So it's gonna take like 2 hours, including everything. So including like me explaining everything, the confusion of me trying to parse out that explanation, brutal. Okay. Also, Nub says GN. Is that good night? Good night, Nub. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your night, my friend. Also, should we check out the other thing? Guys, I feel like super clear right now. I don't know what's happened. I was feeling like foggy. And like when we're talking about Final Fantasy, usually I'm like, what's that game again? I'm feeling clear right now. I don't know what I did different. I'm kind of like, what's happening? Also, let us open up a new video thing to play in the background. Loop that. Oh wait, no, this is not the right video I found. Oh no, that was a Joe Rapper video I'm watching. Anyways, back up. Let's go to watch later. And there it is, games. Where is it? Why can't I click around? Everything's laggy. There we go. This, and then this. Brilliant. Where's my thing? There it is. There we go. Sorry, I just want to get new gameplay going. Carthage says, all right. Oh no, Carthage said that, not Nub. Sorry. Yeah, GN is good. Got it. Carthage says, all right. Insomnia fucking me up again last night. So I'm going to get a bit more sleep now. I'm actually, yeah, go to sleep. Go to sleep, Carthage. We put you to sleep. That's not a very good thing to hear. You know, I'm being helpful. What's good, Crash? Crash says, yo, how's everyone going? What's good? Logan, what's good, Crash? I love the neon green. I don't know if that shows up for everybody, but that's what your color is right now, and it suits you. Crash, how have you been, buddy? What game are you excited for? Has anybody here partaken in the Saints Row customization type thing? Yes. Like, there's a new game mode thing. You can, like, customize a character. Have you done it yet? And if you have said yes, if you have said no, but you plan on it, then wait till Thursday. Okay, please. I would love us to do that together whilst we're streaming, and then at the end of the stream I could go to our Discord page and look at the images, because it'd be cool to see what you guys have actually created, what kind of atrocity and monsters and lovely creatures. What? Nub says, I would not. I'm good. Really, Lone Syndicate? What? Oh man, I would instantly do it. Now, granted, it's just because I would like to have it. The sooner I can get to a place in which I do not need, like, I can just pursue what I enjoy and not be like on the behest of like the economy. Like, what happens if everything goes to shit? You make every wrong choice, and then you're just completely screwed over. You know what I mean? Granted, I do think there is something to be said for, you need to understand that you don't need millions of dollars to be happy. Like, but it is also something like, well, you need enough money to be able to take care of yourself, you know? And granted, some people can like rationalize, oh, I don't need that much. Kind of like the Buddhist philosophy of like, need not of the world kind of thing. Know what you need, and when you have it, be content with that kind of idea. But still, I think it's insane. Now, the reason why I give you guys that weird depiction is because it's a bit of discomfort, but it's not like you're not like showing your giblets to the world. You're just doing weird things that maybe you do not understand nor are attracted to, say, that culture, that thing, but would make a lot of money if you partook in it, I guess. I think a lot of people would say, yeah, I would do it for like as much of an amount of time that I could to get enough money to where I could buy a house, pay it off, and then I just have my job, and then I would know that whenever I have a family or whenever I need something, I'd have a reserve of money to where I could just be okay, and I would be able to, you know, have a good life, etc. like that. I just think people getting caught in the rat race a little bit, and they start getting like, yeah, go kind of thing. Fluff says, an expert, what is an aspiring artist, huh? Yeah. Love says, but yeah, how to art is one thing, but many find they can make bank doing furry how to art. Yeah. I think maybe I heard it from Fluff, actually. I think I heard from a little bit from Fluff, and I seen some memes, which maybe were also by Fluff in the memes tab. I don't know, something like that. Something like that. But I think it came up in my head again because I seen it in a podcast, someone mentioned it. And I was like, whoa. Nub says, Genshin isn't even on the list. Genshin allows you to do almost all the content for it. That's true, yeah. $70 has become the new standard full price game. Yeah. Wait, really? I'm full on yeah, I was about to sound by saying, Nub's like, what? Excuse me? Oh, also, I wanted to ask, I just finished watching God of High School. By the way, what a fun show. I didn't really get my Wukong fix, but I kind of got it a little bit. Like, I got the kind of the essence of Wukong, and like the main character, you could put it together easily, even if you didn't see it, just because he's, you know, he's overtly like joyful and like bouncy and etc. But I'm interested in the story. Like, I'm like, what the fuck happened to Wukong in the situation that made him have like his memories locked away or some shit? Why is his like crown tightening? Also, I can't wait for the Wukong game. Anyways, But I wanted to ask you guys, I've been asking you guys this last couple of streams, but some of you guys were here. What happened? Why, like, both God of High School and Tower of God were like amazingly critically acclaimed, like brilliant shows, and they were backed by Crunchyroll. So why did they stop that? Because that was like an extremely successful endeavor. I think I couldn't see it not being. It's like one of the top things ever. Now we're getting a Tower of God 2. And I think we're getting a God of High School 2. We just haven't got any confirmation on it. We have got a confirmation on the fact that Tower of God is being worked on right now by the same people that made Don't Tease Me, Not an Okay anime. So we know that they're working on that. But I don't know what happened. Someone made a good point, and I think this maybe is what happened. But like Crunchyroll and Funimation were being bought up by a subsidiary, or maybe Funimation was already bought up by this like big Tencent conglomerate kind of thing, and then they were in the process of buying Crunchyroll. And I think that like it correlates with, I think Tower of God came out in 2005 or no 2000 and 2020 or 2000. Was it 2000? When did it come out? Maybe it was 2019 or something, but anyways, not too long ago actually. Tower of God came out, so maybe that 5 years was the business acquisition of Funimation getting pulled, and all of their like plans for the future kind of got put on hiatus, and they got just were giving like a license and maintain kind of thing. But yeah, I like after watching the show, I'm like, you guys had 2 fucking bangers. Also, I don't know why in Tower of God so many people hate the redhead girl. Like people made it sound like there are much worse like tsundere annoying people in anime. She just seems like kind of like Pokemon girl who's like for Ash. She's like, Ash, you're an idiot. And Ash is like, fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna do my best. And that's kind of the essence, but not like egregious. What happened to the whole digital only, so reduce sale price and less production cost? Yeah, it's not much. No, that was always one of those things where it's like, now we're in a place where companies were like, they demand so much, I think. And I think, again, I don't think there's much of a reason to it. Well, the thing is that maybe there is, but it's completely like, maybe the cost of games have gone up, but it doesn't mean the quality of games, I think, has largely gotten exponentially improved. There are a couple games that like capture that. I think God of War was one of those games that genuinely to me was like, oh, this feels like no load screens, or if anything, they're hidden to such an extent where you don't feel them. The combat story, there's so many different aspects of this game where I'm like, this makes sense. This seems like a genuine evolution. Also, it had kind of like a clear style to it, and that was where its budget went, where I feel like so many companies are like, see, we need more money because the production is going up, but in reality it's just like a 60,000 developers just making like the more and more detailed pixels, and it's yeah, I think it's because when you add complexity, like a game with multiple effects. Also, this is hilarious. He does nothing. He just like picks up this guy and throws him, and he's just same place that he picked him up. It's like, what? There's no useless skill. Anyways, I'm sure you throw him into a blender, it'll do damage, but geez. Anyways, I think it's the more you add stuff like a Skyrim, like a Bethesda, like a New Vegas, like a God of War, the more you add more utility things, the more it increases complexity, and the more it increases like glitches and bugs and destabilization. So it's far easier to make like kind of a linear game, or a game that is less like bare bones but basically satisfies the same triggers, because yeah, it seems like that is something that most developers don't want to like hold the mantle that Bethesda holds, which is like, sometimes our games are broken and glitchy and shit. A lot of times in the past they were just that. They weren't fundamentally ignorant to what human beings want, like, what's it called, the online game, although apparently people love that now. That got like a glow up recently. And I was simply because it's been $80 to $60 a long time. The companies decided to raise the bar during the pandemic. The people lost their collective cool over. Okay. It's true. Cost of games is well over $100 nowadays. Anyways, yes, it's true. Yeah, more and more games that don't just more games are like sold with DLC in mind. Although, man, that's the thing that like baffles me, like genuinely throws me for a loop, is I don't know if we have the same thing as like New Vegas, for instance, like or like Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is a good example of like, oh, okay, we're buying $60 for a big game, big open world, But then also, Jesus Christ, this is insane. But when you bought like a DLC, like what is it called, Point Lookout or something like that for Fallout 3, that was a lot. Like it had new guns, new quests, sometimes like a player home, and etc. So to me, it just like no game has done that, and that was to me where people were like, yes. And then Bethesda even kind of burned that goodwill a little bit with some of their actions recently. But yeah. Fluff says, yeah, people are like, blame the publisher, not the devs. Then they're the ones in the same in this way. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that it's not just the publisher. I think it's also the devs. But I also think that I also wonder if the devs are like, I think it's easy to convince someone to just keep like I talked to you guys about this beforehand in the video. I'm not sure how many people watched it, but it's just in the book I'm reading. But it's like, in order to make someone believe something that you want to believe, you start with a tiny concession, like, hey, this would make it so that we could like make all these other games, we could hire more people. Remember how hard it was for you to find a job in the gaming space? Yes, we like, if we just do this one thing, we have a monetary gain from this can constantly feed us, we can constantly hire new people, indie developers, hey, maybe in 2 years we'll be able to even support your indie game that you've been thinking about for years. Like, there's just these tiny things that like they could be like, I guess it'd be nice to maybe hire some new people. Like there are just these slight things that will start nudging your self-perception enough to where you're like, hey, we're doing this because we want to hire more people, and frankly, gamers are toxic as shit. They shit on my baby that I love, my work. So, you know, fuck them. It's us against them. Let's build our company. It's just, I could see a bulldoze for even developers kind of giving in to publishers, kind of is like what do you call it? Carrot on a stick, I guess. And they have a picture showing how well they worked with the devs of the game, and it was a picture of the devs showing the publisher how they can squeeze even more money out of the players. Maybe, yeah. Again, I don't think in every situation it's like that, but I do think to me it makes more sense. I think a lot of times, like, true creativity is by someone who is genuinely creative and interested into making something that is different. And then a lot of times the publisher comes in and says, the publisher's job, I think, is supposed to sell the game and also make it so that the creatives are having like they have a limiter, so that they're basically not working on a game forever like Star Citizen. So they're supposed to be like, stop. Like, you have a year, and if you can't finish it, then you're all fired. And the game never gets to go exist, and I will shit on you for the rest of time. Because, like, no developer will love you. I'll ruin your name immediately, because this is ridiculous. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to try to rein in the creative people and say, finish it. Get it done. You can't have it all. Pick what you like, kill the rest. I'm sorry, it's bad, but you move forward. I think that's supposed to be the nature of the beast, but I think recently it's just gotten like worse and worse and worse, because again, it's so much easier to see how somebody else succeeded and like, oh my god, look at Candy Crush and how much money they're making. And again, they'll be like, well, what if we did a little bit of that too? You know, maybe we like sell gambling to kids. Maybe we do a little bit of that, just a little bit. Well, we won't do it like that. We'll do it different. We'll just do it a little bit different. We'll have restrictions in play. And then, conveniently, when they start making even more money, that one little restriction, that one little cord that's holding back a fucking $1 billion, they're like, what if we just break it for a little bit? Like, it's just so easy to become a monster. It's just, especially when things are working, when things are like, you feel that push of like, well, what if you could make more? And it was pretty easy to make more. What if you have examples to make more? What if it's literally your job to make more? And you could rationalize, like, you know, fucking over people if it meant your company, your people, your coworkers could get more, you know? So I think it's just an easy road to get corrupted by. And then we have examples of Destiny where Bungie proved that they were just as greedy despite players parting. Yeah, but despite leaving with Activision, dude. Yeah, that was one of the biggest things where I was just like, I'm so happy I left. I'm so happy I left. Even when I see the new DLC now, man, it looks like, I'm sure, like, the thing that sucks, man, and this is, I think, the thing that fucking, I recently listened to something that I thought was really interesting, but it's basically like a psychological principle. It's like a psychological principle, which is crazy to me, but it's, the idea is essentially that when human beings don't feel like they are a part of the future, like when there is a an idea, when the future is something that is not hopeful or interesting to human beings feel like this really odd feeling of displacedness, almost like of giving up. Like there's no future that is exciting. Like the future looks like crazy terrible for human beings. It looks like it's more big ass companies sucking the money out of everything, and there's no like interest or like destabilization. Like, at some point we had the internet, and the internet was like this bastion of weirdness and freedom and horror, but at least it was like, what could this do, what could this unlock? And now we're getting to the point where the internet is still starting to slowly get to a point where it's losing that feeling of a hopeful future of what could this mean. And I feel like games have that same sense of like, when I talk about Destiny, I'm filled with just sadness because I feel like it could have been something amazing. I don't know why companies don't see what they did and say, well, wait, what if we did the exact same thing except we didn't have some of these weird monetary strings in there, or we built the game on the back of basically procedurally generating new content or something, or we genuinely asked the player what they want. Like games that kind of are like that are like Warframe to me. Warframes have done a really good job about like trying to genuinely pay attention to what community wants and like shaping things. Granted, sometimes they go in a direction that a certain part of the community that doesn't want them to go that way, but still, it seems like they did a better job about harmonizing their community, but also finding a way to make money from their community still. Frankly, people need to stop disassociating game devs with monetization. Such is primarily the publisher that makes the financial decision. It's the devs that implement it. Yeah, but to me, my point is not that I'm like saying that the devs are like without fault. I'm saying that I think the dev's job genuinely is to create things. And I genuinely think that, like, I've seen so many games that it seems like there's a huge, the reason why I push back on that in the fluff a little bit, not to that, I do think that there are devs that are aware of, they're taught how to do marketing. They've done 3 games and they know it works, quote unquote, know it works. But I do think in so many games, I can see the writing on the wall of a clearly obvious excluded content. Like content that seems like 100% made and then just cut off and then resold to you later. I seen this in what do you call it? Let It Die was one of the games where I seen it, where I seen like early access footage of the game, and then later that footage that like we seen an armor piece that was basically not there, eventually given to us, even though it was in the pre version of the game, like the very first showcase of the game, and etc. And then same thing with Diablo Immortal. From what I hear, it's literally like a drawing in the sand. It's like it literally looks like somebody looked at like the mechanics and then got like another development team to kind of start flipping on the switches. But people just describe Diablo Immortal as being like, it's such a good game, but then the one stuff is so lost in itself and doesn't make sense and is super weird, especially in the way that it's executed. Like to me, that doesn't seem like it's. Yeah, in fact, I don't really know many games that have. Maybe Genshin is a good example of where the gameplay people and the monetization people seem to be really synced up to where they may actually be interweaved within each other. The Logitech power play that allows my mouse in charge while using, so I have wireless mouse and I never have to charge. Oh, that's actually kind of neat. Well, no, I get it, but it seems like why not just charge it? Like this mouse, I only use for streams. It's an old mouse I used to have, and I've not charged it in 3 months, so maybe more actually, maybe half a year. But granted, I just don't use it that much as well. So, I even remember when using it like all the time. I use it all the time. I remember it being lasting for like maybe a couple days. No, I mean a couple months. I mean like 2 months, I think still. Nub says, Fluff, the main reason for that is because of the Bungie devs specifically. I don't know how to explain it, but the devs implemented things they are told to do from upper management. Yeah, maybe. But I feel like, again, like I'm not sure where the chat is. I probably should put on time code so I know where I'm when these were written or message were put into the thing, But yeah, I definitely think it's that worm tongue aspect of like being able to slightly nudge people to work for you, not against you. Nub says, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I intend to. Lonesiga says, I have not done it, but plan on checking it out. Oh, what, the giant video? It's okay. It's one of those videos I genuinely like. The book reviews are genuinely made for me. Like, especially at this point, I had the ability to make it one video, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna make it two, because it's literally just a reference for me to go back and be like, okay, let's make sure we we go back and make sure we're managing everything properly. So I don't actually expect many people to watch those besides just me. But also, I do make them with the intention of like, oh, maybe someone wants a summary, quote unquote summary. I mean, if it's a 9-hour book, I think it's 2 hours of condensing stuff is, to me, like, oh, okay, that's a lot of value. Granted, some people want 10 minutes, and I'm like, what is there to really learn in 10 minutes? Especially if you ever read a book and you've actually had to, like, it's helped you. I think a lot of times a person needs to make a good argument for why the information is valuable in general, which is usually done by storytelling, situational awareness of why it could apply, that kind of thing. Fluff says, right, but dev studios want to make money, and if the publisher to them to do so, they will tend to do as the opposite can result in them being out of a job. Yeah, no, I definitely think that it makes sense why certain things are there, why like certain practices and developers could be pushed to that degree, even if it's just as simple as I want to keep my job. But the problem, I think, is that I genuinely think the problem is that I feel like there's no one in game companies genuinely saying like what, like, to me it's funny because I did a lot of courses this last year, etc., about marketing, which that has a really bad connotation a lot of times. But good marketing is someone just being like, someone sitting down with you and saying, okay, what do you want? Them listening some more, them listening even more, and then saying, okay, that's not it. Then they have to take a step back and say, okay, that's what they say they want. What do they really want? And then you look at what their actions do, what they're drawn to, and then you say, okay, now with both of those things in mind, them being able to verbalize what they want and then be able to see what they actually do, because that sometimes can be different. So sometimes what you do, you're only doing because it's the only thing to do. So if you only act in that, then you're going to be fucked. This person's telling you what he hopes to have for a future. And then you're like, okay, now you see both of those things. You see if there's any potential to be had in the future, any sort of idea, a creation or value that you could pursue. And then you create that said thing. But the bad marketing is kind of like just, I have something and I'm going to leverage every type of manipulative act I can to get you to spend money on it, regardless of the value that I give, which to me is like classic shitty salesman versus person who's genuinely trying to create something for you that both will make him have income and also you have value. I have no shame, so I show my giblets, give me my money. Really? Pop your shit out. Holy shit. Fluff says, so as far as I can tell, Honkai Star Rail is going to be more like Genshin, an open world sort, but with sci-fi theme. I know, Fluff, I was seeing the same thing when they showed like the spaceship. Although, are you sure? Because the spaceship led me to believe that it was going to be dungeon based. In fact, weirdly enough, the like hip hop kind of like a post-apocalyptic punk rock kind of vibe, that one seemed more akin to an open world game. Granted, I don't think that's what it's going to be. But I think I heard something where they said like, I don't know, some sort of wordage that made me think, is it going to be open world? Even though that one looks the most like it's going to be level based. And I wonder if it's because it's an early development right now that they only can show like set pieces. But they do have the aspiration to make it an open world once. Because I think that would be such more of a fun open world game. To have like this post-apocalyptic town of like skateboarders / punk rock, spray paint, kind of like Bleeding Edge kind of vibe. But no, I'm more excited for the... the one tease at the very end, Fluff, of that Star Rail thing where they show like the this like fucking like Tiger King guys talk at the very end. That one seemed cool. That was like the one, because all the other space shit, I was just like, yay, meaningless empty space in a fucking bland corridor. I'm not into a space as much. I'm into like world discovery. Like again, if you were to go into a world and like it'd be basically like a techno fantasy punk rocker thing, or like a straight up fantasy, like orcs and shit, and like no technology. Like that's what I would hope that like space travel would give me. Not like, here's a barren planet, asshole. Like what? While Zenless Zone Zero seems like a cyberpunk / Honkai Impact, sadly not open world, but still looks like a fun game theme instead. Yeah, I think that one I'm more interested in. But also, I don't know. I gotta be careful because who knows? Because the gameplay to me is king. We haven't really seen how that sequences. We do know that the other one though, I think the what is it called? The space cyberpunk kind of like space bleeding edge kind of vibe Genshin game. That one does look like you can switch characters, at least 2. Lone Singlet says, you finished God of High School, Grin. You just finished anime Nobilis. No, wait. Sorry. Grin, you've just finished God of High School, Grin. You just finished anime like nobody business. I want Buck Wild. I'll be honest. I did go ham. There's moments when I take forever to chip away at a show, and I think it's because God of High School felt very fast. And like Boji / Ranker of Kings is such a cool experience. The more a show is good, well, I shouldn't say that objectively. Most of the time, the more a show is good, the slower I'll watch it. And then there's the other option where it's sometimes when a show is so like action packed, the quicker I'll watch it. So it's kind of a weird barometer. But when a show is kind of like in the middle, it's either I'm busy or it's kind of like I only can watch 2 episodes before I kind of start to like lose cognitive presence to where I'm like, okay, I'll come back when I'm more in it. But no, God of High School to me was pretty rapid. I finally got to the end, baby. The bottom of the chat finally. How about you, Lone Syndicate? How you finished the quintuplet situation yet? That anime? Although I think you're also juggling like 5 other shows like Spy X Family. Also, I think Fluff started watching that, which is hilarious. Nub says, yes, she's the worst. Fuck her. She's kind of the reason I dropped God of High School in general. Really? I think there's so much more worse characters in anime. She to me felt like just a normal tsundere kind of battle maiden. Nothing too crazy, but I know a lot of people who fucking hate her. I watched a whole video about a person being like, fuck her. I hate her so much. And I'm watching it and I'm like, so when is she gonna like backstab them or like make a choice that completely disregards other people? And it didn't happen. It was just her being like, I want to make my dad's sword style happen. That was it. Although I did love and Tower of God, man. Well, Nub hadn't finished it. I don't want to spoil it too much, even though I'm sure you know at this point now. But it was fucking dope to see the goddamn they start teasing that, and I love that they like. I love the permeated idea in God of High School, which is you're basically taking a god's power, like you're becoming a champion for them. You're like allowing divine power through them almost, but it's also through them. So it's whatever that god is you're benefiting from that. But to me, it was awesome when the main character said like, no, I don't have any interest in like taking someone else's power, and I was just like, awesome, because to me that was like the moment where I was like, that's the when everyone's hunting for this thing, that is the right thing to say, because his whole thing is he just wants to get stronger himself, and then it turns out, holy shit, dude, the ending is fucking mean. Also, did I say Tower of God? Oh, also, yeah, no, sorry, I meant God of High School. Tower of God, Rachel, Nightmare Hell. If you're talking about that, then yes. Is that what you're talking about? You did. No, wait. Yeah, no, you said Tower of God. Sorry. I seen Nub say laugh, and I'm like, what happened? Oh, yeah, no, Rachel. What? I know, I meant the other redhead in God of High School. That's, Jesus Christ. So many gods in my brain just mess. But no, what I meant to say was in God of High School, there is a redheaded girl who is like the third friend, who I watched a lot of videos when Tower of God was happening, that people shit all over her. Didn't get it. Having finished watching the series, still don't get it. When it comes to Tower of God, did I say Tower of God at the end there again? I don't know. Regardless, Tower of God, Rachel's the nightmare. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. But also, I wonder, like, to me, if you couldn't handle, like, if you thought that was horrible, wait, Tower of God or God of High School, because you keep using, yeah, sorry. I mean, yeah. I'm not talking about, okay, yeah, sure, you are talking about that. So really, you didn't like the one girl who had the sword thing. Yeah, because I'm talking about Tower of God, not the thing. What is good, Nanny? Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Always too much, overly generous, but I appreciate it. Nanny says Nanny described the tier 2 fucking shit. They would subscribe for 18 months, currently on a fucking 17-month streak. I wish I could just give you that. Why the 1 month? Let's relax. We could just move that away. I wish you just had the full package. I would like to give that to you as well. Also, also saying it like this is very misleading to my actual point. What does that mean? Hey, I'm playing a game that's been in dev for 12 years and I love it. Oh, what is that? Is that the game we're talking about? You can use as a regular wireless mouse as well. You don't need to have it on the pad for it to. I know. I just feel like, to me, to spend like, if I'm having to spend like $200 more and I could just plug it in for like, what is it, essentially an hour, and then it'd be cooking for another 3 months. I'm just kind of like, seems like a lot of extra steps. But also, I'm the guy who bought like fucking $300 shoes. So yeah. Also, it's $100. That's a console. That's a console. Oh, I hated it. After fucking import fees and shit nub, I just got wrecked. Anyways, luckily it was not YouTube money. It was not Twitch subs. I was like doing that clear, so you're not just thinking I'm fucking away this. This is the money I got from putting up a sign, or putting up a giant decal on a big ass semi truck. Yeah. And I love it. Yeah, if you love it, then that's worth. But yes, for me, my brain is like, But also, is it a tiny mouse? Because that's the other thing I have to hunt for. Is a mouse that feels good in my hand, which is little baby hands. Baby hands. You don't need to have it on the pad for it to work. Right. Fluff says ZZZ just has a boxy arena. Starlet definitely showed up open world areas, at least for more open than ZZ. Yeah, no, I agree. I just wonder if that's going to be the baseline. Maybe, because it's more of like a unique art style. I just think that's, I don't know. I think Genshin's more fantasy. Maybe the Star Rail is going to be more open world sci-fi, so they're not cannibalizing each other. But with this weird post-apocalyptic world, they're like, no, let's keep it more tighter. Let's keep it like dungeon crawler kind of, gameplay loop, which maybe makes sense. Fluff says, I hate to say it, but you keep calling the anime oh yeah. I keep saying Rancor. Rancor of Kings. Am I not saying it right? Oh, I see what you're saying. Rancor of Kings. Rancor of Kings. I guess I put an O in there. Rancor of Kings. Rancor of Kings. I gotta like really do the American, pull my goddamn Chiefs back and shit. Nub says, wait, Tower of God. Yeah. I'm not talking about that, Rachel, though. What's good, Natty? By the way, Dan, how you been, buddy? What game you currently playing? Have you got back into Genshin with the new update? Are you excited for Saints Row? Are you excited for any of the games that currently happen in Summer Game Fest / just kind of our weird E3? Do you guys know if this is our E3? This seems like this is our E3 this year. I don't know if E3's coming back, but I don't know if we're gonna have an E3 again, or maybe that's like near the end of summer. I don't know. Because I don't even remember that anime. I'm talking about God of High School, by the way, because you don't even remember God of, what do you call it, Tower of God? It's such a good show, man. It says, I finished quintessential quintuplets. I don't even say it. And God, probably my second and third favorite harem anime. Wow. Really? Season 2 ending is like, wow, I can't wait till we get the movie, or here where I start reading the manga, or if it causes, I can't wait, but I really know how it ends in the manga, but I wonder if they change anything in the anime. Okay, so you're considering reading the manga because you're wondering how it's gonna sequence and end. Okay. Lone Syndicate, you watch subbed anime, right? There's an anime I want you to watch. It's a harem show. Should be right up your alley. It looks fucking ungodly good. Like, it's one of the freakishly drawn shows ever. Like, it's super clean, and it's really good style, too. Nub might know it. Maybe not. Maybe that's, leading. But it's basically... Oh, I can't remember what it's called. There's like a pink fairy. This doesn't help. There's like a pink pixie kind of thing. There's like a Lolita goth person that looks very similar to the Day to Live goth waifu. There's also like a fucking like a purpled haired girl with a ponytail who's like the sports person. God damn it. Well, I said this last to Fluff, and I fucking shit the bed on that too. I was supposed to send him something in Discord. I forgot. If I remembered, I'll send it to you. But I think it'd be a show that it's one of the ones where I'm like, just fucking dub it already, because it looks very good. Yes. Nub says, does it get better? Because I found the early story for it kind of boring. If you didn't like the beginning, I would say skip to the last 3 episodes. I'd say watch what is essentially there's one that says like tiger / god, I think is what it's called. I think. And watch that one forward. That's where you start seeing the main character start popping off. But that's where like it starts to get pretty up there, I think, when it starts like the pace. But then it does have a lull point where like the city's going to shit. Push through that. Maybe even like jump a little bit past that, because that's a little bit delayed. It's like a little bit of a boring lull too. But yeah. Lone Ticket says, and I'm still watching The Realist Hero, and I started another anime called Nekapara. What's that one about, Lone Syndicate? Is that a show about cats, or is that a show that sounds familiar? Is that a Persian show? I don't know, but let me know what that one is. That Nekapara. What the fuck is that? Don't look at me. I was supposed to be like maybe $180, and then fucking import fees and everything, and I just said fuck it. Okay, I worked my ass off last couple weeks. I had quite a big yield of income, so I was like, fuck it, fuck it. It is too much. I 100% agree. If it wasn't shoes, which I'll use for the rest of my life, I'd be like, okay. Or a mouse that you're gonna use every single day, you know. It's a medium mouse. Okay, gotcha. I think E3 is dead. Yeah, probably dead. It seems like, what's it called? Our guy, the guy who runs this whole thing. He also runs like not Jeff Kaplan. What is his name? I think his name is Jeff. I don't know. The guy who runs this whole thing. It seems like he's sitting there like, I seen the smoke, bitches, and I started preparing, and now he's like the guy who runs all of it, which is fucking like just cool to see. Jeff, no, not Jeff. I guess Jeff Kaplan. I keep saying that, but that's not right. That's some other guy. This was our E3 this year. Okay, gotcha. But supposedly we'll get a proper E3 next year. Yeah, supposedly. Maybe. Hopefully. I like E3. I just like a block of time which is like very like known to be the gaming time. Then it says, I've been playing God of War, kind of playing a bit of Genshin though when updates drop. Okay, gotcha. What do you call it, Nanny? How God of War 1 or the new one? Like the reboot, or just the baseline God of War? Or are you doing the fucking like climb through all of them? Oh, I see. Okay, no, I already started the manga for that. So did it not like wrap up Lone Syndicate, or is the manga have a different ending you're thinking for quintuplets? Is that what you're saying? Nub says, it sounds familiar because it's a Harada game. Oh. Grin, I can't watch something if I don't know the name, but not is the name implies. Yeah, I see. It's like a fucking like a maid cafe. It's like a whole ass genre. It's like a maid cafe. A guy gets a bunch of fucking cat people in a box. I didn't know it had. Well, I guess it makes sense. I think it's a visual novel, so most visual novels have like a patch that makes it lutified. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, watch this while I'm gone, or talk amongst yourself. I gotta use the washroom really bad. also, my dudes, like I said, I currently got one that was grinding. Currently grinding in terms of like there's a spring of time where my family needed me coming into family business help, etc. So I did that, but I made a decent bit of money at that point for just this, and I was like, you know what, it's been a minute since I've did. Again, I'm the pack rat meta. I'm a hermit, like don't spend any money kind of thing. But recently, this is also kind of the thing I do. I save, and then I eventually go, okay. And I spend like, not a lot, but still like a bit. And I recently got the shoes. Too much. But I also, in regards to, I basically bought a kettlebell. But this kettlebell is 72 pounds or 75 pounds. I cannot describe to you guys how much that is. That is so heavy. And it's also in a bottle this big. It's the size of a human head, basically. It's that, but 70 pounds. It's ridiculous how heavy that is. I cannot describe to people that something so tiny can be so ungodly heavy. Like a stone, not even close. It's all built-in steel iron, basically a solid lead ball. And I bought one of those. I might have bought two. Regardless, it's modular. It goes up by 2. It's really neat. I will never need to buy a kettlebell for the rest of my life, which is nice. Especially considering kettlebells are all steel, so you can like throw them in a fire and they'll be fine. But when that thing comes, for those guys who do not know, my kettlebell situation is I have a 35 or 30, I think, 44, and a 52 because kilogram horrible nightmare hell. So that's the thing. I'm able to do all that, but 52 to 75 is demonstrous. Now, good news is I can go by like, 52, 54, 55, because it's modular kettlebell. Not like you've seen, it's got like a competition shell. I'll show it to you guys. It looks cool. It looks real cool. It's also a little bit expensive. But again, I won't have to buy any more kettlebells for the rest of my life. It's actually quite a good deal. Anyways, but I can't wait to show it to you guys. Even though I know, I'm not sure how cool it is for everybody else, but to me, it's pretty huge. Lone Ticket says, oh no, I read that. Right, talking about the game. Nanny says, the new one with a tray is how you feeling, Nanny? Please talk to me about this. I know you're probably playing it right now, but how are you enjoying it? How do you feel? Because man, to me, has it started syncing up in your head yet, Nanny? Where you're sitting there like doing combos with Kratos, and then you're doing a weird claw grip, and you're spamming the shit out of arrows whenever you can, and then you're quickly like unleashing like a trace as wolves just to come and fucking spear tackle everybody. And you're just constantly sequencing and letting it rip and whatnot. Also, have you gotten to the moment that happens in the game that is the most memorable moment ever? You maybe go back to your home. Have you gotten to that moment yet? I don't want to say it, but has anything like that happened? I won't spoil anything, but yes, I'm curious. Nub says, I worked hard to make money to lose it all custom and shipping costs. Yeah. That's pretty fair, man. Well, actually, the good news is that the one that I currently got, these kettlebell ones, they're actually from Canada, which is nice, or Calgary, which is nice. So at least they're in Canada, so I'm not having to pay like the most shipping imaginable. It's still $40 in shipping, which is not good. But for 2 70-pound kettlebells, yeah, that's pretty good. That's so much weight. So that's nice. I think they have some sort of like deal with FedEx or something. Also, the poor lady who always brings me the packages is gonna fucking throw her back out because she's a very tiny woman with like a ponytail and glasses. She's like, I think maybe 30 or 40. And last time she brought in my 40-pound, and it was a bad time because I don't think anybody is mentally ready to pick up something so small and for it to be so freakishly heavy. Like it's insanely weird. to think of. No, I just met the second blacksmith. Okay, gotcha, Nanny. Let me know when that moment comes. But right now, Nanny, yeah, what do you call it? The gameplay, Atreus. Are you playing on next gen too, or are you just playing it on old console? I don't know if there is an next gen. I think there would be. I don't know. I think there is, because I think that it also came out for PC. So I think that maybe was correlation. Like, the next thing is there. I'm still on. Oh, you're still on PS4. Gotcha, Nanny. Gotcha. No, I just. Okay, gotcha. PS4. Yeah, PS4 was also a good place to play it. Yeah, I didn't feel like it was made for that generation. So it still looked really good, all things considered. But let me know. Let me know when you get to those points. But right now, first impressions, which you're probably only like maybe 2-3 hours in. You meet the blacksmith guy pretty quick. Impressions. Are you in when it comes to the Dad of War? It says the manga has been concluded for a while while before season 2 of the anime aired. I think the ending of the manga, I hear people weren't too happy about who the main character ended up marrying. Because it's an age of waifu wars and best girl. So I wonder what the anime will have if they change anything. Gotcha. Yeah, man. To me, I think those harem things gotta always do like, here's ending 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, don't kill me and walk away. Cause I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing for people who are really up to date on what is it called? The Devil Works as a Part-Timer. I heard so many people who were like, they were loving that anime. It was so good. They were so excited for a season 2, and then they just finished the manga, and people were pissed. People were so mad at who he ends up with. And I only read the manga. I'm pretty happy with who he ends up with, even though I haven't read the manga. So I understand if maybe throughout the development of the story, they sell one more character way harder. But there is one character who is always present with our main character, and not this bullshittery. Anyways, but it looked really cool. But anyways, I still can't wait. There's so many animes that we heard about that we haven't gotten a season update yet. Like I heard we're getting another season of that one show, The Devil Works as a Part-Timer. It's probably too early to ask on Syndicate, but do you think that we'll get a better turnaround for a season 6 or something of what is it called? The anime? The fucking one where the what is it called? The one that we both it keeps coming to me and then leaving. Day to Live. Do you think we'll get another season? Because it's weird that like it keeps getting passed around by developers, and I'm wondering if it's just somebody owns the IP and is like going up to people being like, "Will you make a season 2?" Or if it's finally in like the people who own its hands, and they're like, okay, now we're gonna make seasons, we're gonna sell merchandise, we're gonna try to weaponize this as much as we possibly can. I don't know. Also, man, I still haven't heard too much stuff from Shield Hero. I'm not sure how people are liking it. I think people are like, I'm gonna watch it when the voice actor guy comes back. But yeah, and also I don't know. To me, I was expecting to hear some shit because we were waiting for such a long time for that show to happen. And I haven't heard much of anyone talk about it. Like, yeah, like Shield Hero was everywhere when you first heard about it. Like the little tiny pint-sized person. Granted, Spy X Family is like taking names. Like everyone is watching it. And I can't wait for it to finish so I can quickly watch it and be like, oh my god, because I just keep seeing little clips. Like I seen Funimation uploaded a clip right now today where it shows like I think her name is Anya, because people always made like the only reason I know that is because people keep memeing her name in a way like Anya or anyways or something. Anyways, but anyways, I see that clip where she just slaps the shit out of someone because the dude just ducks it perfectly. And I can't wait to watch it. It seems like such a fun show. Oh, I'm gonna pass out. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you call it? I wanted to ask you guys. Not ask you guys. It's the wrong way to phrase it. How do I phrase it? So I'm currently reading another book. So I wrapped up my one book. Have some feelings where I should probably do some exercises to apply the things I've learned a little bit more throughout the book. The whole influence book talks about like the psychology of people's manipulating you in a way and finding out how to like leverage certain things for you, you know, kind of like laugh tracks or a way to make it so that people innately react to that social environment cue. Anyways, but the new book I'm reading, man, is how do I describe it? It almost feels like there is something there. You know, like sometimes you read a book and you're like, okay, I don't really like, it's useful, but it's just not useful for me right now. You know, you're kind of like, I guess I should pay attention, but I don't know if this is for me. And this is the book that, like, it's a book called The YouTube Formula, and it's not, again, I unfortunately find books that sound like the most manipulative, horrible thing and premise ever. They're not, or at least I'm not reading them because of that. At least the main thing I'm there for, though, is this book is apparently written by a person who has kind of broken down the structure of content and video stuff in a way that to me makes a lot of sense. But the reason why I kind of have this like weirdness to it is the book in a way is kind of like, it hits almost perfectly with what the situation I'm kind of in. And not only that, but it also has this weird feeling of, how do I describe it? There's this feeling of, like, this is it. Like, this is a very important thing I need to hear, but at the same time, it's also, like, a little, like, it's almost like you kind of got to look at the demons in your closet a little bit, like the kind of inaction that you've done, the kind of way you've approached things, and all that stuff. And one of the things that it talks about is like, one of the things that's pretty obvious, but its formula, if I'm not mistaken, is like, try, fail, analyze, what's the other word? Oh no, that's what, analyze, adjust. That's what it is. So try, fail, analyze, adjust is its YouTube formula. And one of the things that to me has been fucking prevalent, man, is I never ever like looking at data, like analytics. And it's just, like, to me, it's one of the most, it's just one of the most hard things to see sometimes, because it's like, sometimes it's like, honestly, it's like a very direct hit of like pain. Sometimes, like, sometimes when you see the thing that you spent like 5 hours editing, people tuned out in like the first 4 minutes, and you're like, okay, it's fine, I go, oh god. You know? But I've put that off for a long time. And again, it's like we've made strides, but this is the one thing that to me seems like it's a piece of the puzzle that, it's funny because I'm reading the book and I'm already in this journey that I was trying to like figure things out. I've already tried to come up with systems that can kind of help format things, and they've kind of been akin to what this person's talking about in the book. But I'm at this point where, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like in my head, I wonder if, now I need to think about this more before I put it out in the world, before I maybe freak you guys out. But yeah, it's a feeling of maybe I need to take a step back and like completely dismantle all of the things that have a preconceived idea in my head about, which is a little freaky, you know, like not like just, hey, I'm going to try to adapt whilst I do this, which I think is what the book suggests. You shouldn't just like completely run away and then like come back when you have a mental idea. And I don't want to do that, but I feel like there's so much shit in my head that is like useful, but then some of it's cannibalizing my idea of things. Like, again, I always bring it up, but like it's like a genuine feeling of disorder in my head whenever I feel like time. Like I was always told at the very beginning of my YouTube thing, when I was listening to so many like how to do these things kind of videos, it was always about like consistency, always. And that was kind of the lie I actually believed. And it's funny because if you do something for like 8 years, it's such a hard thing to break. And I know it's the wrong answer is just to do something because you need to throw something out there. Especially when we've created systems like streaming that can kind of alleviate the feeling of me abandoning my audience, you know? But at the same time, it's I still feel that. Like yeah. Like, and again, like to me, I made a video that I'm actually really happy with. It's a video about essentially it's on Brothers GRINN channel, but it's about how to fix endgame within Wonderlands. And I feel like whilst I was editing it, I needed a video for the next day, for the next couple days, because I wanted to start reading this book. So I needed to have that taken care of. But whilst I was making the video, I started getting bored in editing. Not even bored, I started getting exhausted whilst editing. And I basically was like, you know what, this is fine. But I knew while I started editing that video that I could have added like names. I could have slowed down. I could have made sure there's timestamps, so if people want to skip to the point that they're interested in, I could have done that. Things that I know would have probably helped the video succeed or be more clear. But I didn't do them because I wanted a video to get uploaded that day. And I still have that thing in my head that I know it's bad. I know I can deduce in every conceivable way that this is something that we should not pursue. This feeling of like needing to put out a video. Like if I was away for a month, then yeah, that'd be like too much. You need to stay somewhat. You should make a point to try to be somewhat in people's eyes. But again, we stream all the time, so I don't think that works anymore. But yeah, reading the book, and hopefully I can handle it, because it is one of those things that does feel like something sometimes. Like I'm reading it and I'm like, it feels like the thing I need to hear, but it's kind of hurtful. You know, does it make any sense? And yeah, but it's not like generally it's not hurtful. It's not like the person's trying to like, hey, fuck you, idiot, you gotta do this. It's not that. It's just like a person being like, why have you not looked at your analytics? Like, do you realize how insane that is? And do you realize your only reason why you failed is because of you? And it's like, that's like, oh, it's like, okay. But it's also like perfect, you know, like I say that, I laugh, and I'm like, this is exactly what I think I need. And who knows, maybe it all chalks up to be smoke and mirrors and it doesn't work. Although I have a feeling that this is the right thing to learn, I guess, right now. Which the last couple of books, with exception to the one previous book we read, this one feels like it's right up the alley that I should be pursuing. Sorry about the dogs. Also, Nanny had to hydrate there for years. I didn't do anything. I was actually drinking water. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god. I almost dropped my thing. Lone Syndicate says, Data Live Season 4 hasn't concluded yet, so hard to say, but I think I think it'll get more seasons, because I have like 22 volumes. Because it has 22 volumes and is popular over in Japan, then over here in only 6 volumes are released. Keep in mind, the first volume of the manga was released in March 2009 or March 19th of 2011 in Japan, but hasn't been released until March 20th. Oh wow, that's a hell of a delay. I wonder why. Is it like there's like a trickling effect that they think they're gonna like slowly pace something out? Maybe. Lone Syndicate says, but overall, cause I went off topic, the series is very popular, so I think we are going to keep getting more seasons. I hope so, man, because I wonder maybe that's what that is. Like, it's just popular enough to have a dub here, but in Japan it's like popping off. Because I always wondered why. Like, as much as I like the show, I wonder, like, maybe like me and you, is Data Live in your top 4, like, whatever harem show kind of things? Like, I don't know if it is. At least not for me. It's fun. But I wouldn't, like, put it in, like, oh, I hope the show has another season because it's so fucking good. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the anime is up to volume 14 or 15 of the light novel, judging on the cover of the light novel. Okay. Interesting. I wonder, do you think it's when do you think it's going to conclude? Because it's always crazy to me when I think of like a show that's been going on for like 10 years has not concluded yet. I know it's like a long process, but it's just like that feels like so much time. Yep, top 3 harem for really? Okay, yeah, for me, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't. To me, I'm trash. I would just like to put that in the forefront. All right, and I realize that this is like I have 2 shows that are pure nostalgia / horny jail. Me, okay. One of them is Sekirei. One of them is what do you call it? Vampire plus Rosary. The third one, I don't know. I don't know what the third one is actually. I'm saving that one for something that actually is a good sequence show. What is your other top 3 actually? Lone Syndicate. You have Quintessential. What do you call it? The other one. What is it called? The Day to Live. And then what's the third? What is your third? Also, what is your favorite anime of all time? Lone Syndicate. And everybody, if you want to throw in yours too. All time favorite one. You have to pick one. What is it? My lights are getting dusty again. I can feel my nose fucking clogging up. It's not good. It's not good. Also, is this anime look good? Or sorry, is this game look good? It looks goofy fun, and yeah. Also, I love how everything is just like, we can make it anime. We could make it some anime weirdness. And then they're like, yeah. And everyone's like, what? What's the point? It looks like a fucking, like, a spy thing, but you're like, no, we could put, like, a girl in a skirt and dress, etc. Yeah, but it's funny that they don't have a gun. I wonder if that's going to be good or awful. I think it's probably going to be shitty, but who knows? Oh, my body. Also, I do not know what game we are playing next. Granted, I still feel like we haven't... Maybe it's just because too many games have to own the market at this point. But I still feel like we haven't had a main game yet for a while. Like to me, I don't know if we haven't gotten like a battle royale again. I think battle royales made everything kind of really fucky. Where like we used to have games that seemed like Destiny was one of them. Also I think World of Warcraft was one of them. We also had like these a lot of procedurally generated games. And now I don't really feel like we have those. It's all like weird battle royales, which. Having the people have their fun, but I don't know, man. Like, to me, if there was an option between, like, Deathverse just being, like, a cooler version of, like, a dungeon crawler kind of situation, which already is kind of what Let It Die is. But, like, I would rather a Let It Die 2, like, exactly more of what we had, except hopefully less ball-crushing nonsense and more, like, fun ways to leverage advantages and like, customizations and like, level-upping things. And, yes. Then the other one. Nub says, recently the trend has been indie game. Yeah. You mean on the thing? Yeah. A lot of indie games. I'm hoping that Microsoft... Now, what do you think? Do you think Xbox's showcase will actually have shit? Because Sony's was, to me, pretty disappointing. Outside of Final Fantasy, it was like... Okay. I just feel like Sony has not brought it in a while. Not to say that... Again, it sucks, because Sony's also, like, the fucking god of, like, just crazy good games like Spider-Man No Far From Home, no, whatever the game was. Spider-Man looked great. Miles Morales looked fun. God of War is a fucking masterpiece, beautiful game. And yeah, and also, do you think that's coming out this year? I don't think it's coming out this year. I don't think God of War is coming out this year. I would love it, but I don't think it is. It's sad. Also, apparently the Harry Potter game has yet to be delayed. I feel like it's gotta be, but also the gameplay looked like it was pretty done. And I know that game's been being worked on for like 8 years. It's stupid old. That game has been in development for a long ass time. Also, I think its premise has stayed the same. Like it's stayed the same for its whole life cycle, which is awesome. Lozika says, to be fair, Kurumi, Goth Girl, is kind of the main reason I like the show. Yeah. Oh, dude, Lone Syndicate, I promise you if I can find this, I might pause the stream really. Well, not pause it. I will just hang out right when we're about to end the stream. We might not rate it one today just because of this, but I want to find that show because there is. I think we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna give you this show, and yeah. But you said also the show also. Shido, the main character, I enjoy his character a lot, but all the girls in the show are interesting and memorable, and leave an impact on. Yeah, it's true. I agree with that. Yeah. Again, a lot of the harem shows fuck up a lot of the times. I think because I think they genuinely think it's just like people like archetypes, which I'm sure they do, but I genuinely think it's funny. It's like it's 2-part lewd, sure, like people like whatever have this fantasy of whatever having multiple partners, but I also think that the main point of those shows is like I actually just like seeing like multiple different perspectives of characters. Like I like seeing characters that are unique, different, that have their own like proclivity, and the fact that they throw powers in the mix makes it even more of that. Like, hey, this character controls wind. This character controls fucking like mecha creatures or something. You know, it's like, hey, there's depth and there's weird like layers to these types of characters. I think that's why people like tropes, is because you're gonna see different layers of these weird characters. But yeah. Nub said, all right, read that. Let's see, it says top 3 anime shows: Monster Muse, Day to Live, Quintessential Quintuplets, and Vamp. You like Vampire? Yeah, Vamp, man, fuck a Vampire Rosary. Oh man, have you read the manga on that, Nub? Or not Nub, Lone City. Sorry, not seen your names are right on top of each other. Have you read that, Lone City, the Vampire plus Rosary manga? Because I heard a lot of people say that that's like up there. Oh, it was. I think anime has improved, or manga has improved greatly. But people put that up as like one of the better books out there, like just written wise. Also, is Warframe aging up your character? Like, are you playing a fucking 20-year-old now, or like a 30-year-old? I'm not sure if I like that. I much prefer the, like, yeah. He looks like that one guy from who's playing in The Last of Us. He's playing the one guy. What is his goddamn name? You know what I'm saying. You know that person. Maybe. Guillermo del Toro, is that right? I think that's right. Lone Singh says, oh no, Fluff, Nub says, Xbox has no need to showcase anything anymore. Microsoft is coasting on yeah. But that's the thing, Nub, we have last couple of years, like around like 4 or 5 years, maybe 3 years ago, they bought up like every developer ever. And it also, oh man, they like this to me, as much as I'm like, Xbox is cleaning shop and all that stuff, I agree. But at the same time, a part of me is also like, well, I want to see what they do with the developers they bought, because they bought up a lot of like fucking awesome indie devs and like just developers. Like, what do you call it? Like, they bought up so many people. So I'm wondering if it's either going to be like, hey, we gave them a bunch of money, as well as like, if this game does well, it, like a rising tide rises all ships kind of idea. Or if it's all going to be like paid as a service, kind of continually updated game, so that it keeps people like making sure they're staying subscribed to Game Pass. Or if it's just going to be a shit show and like the games that they make are going to be terrible. Like the Xbox, like, you get 2 years to make a game. If you don't, we're going to immediately kill you. Kill the whole indie studio we bought. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that they're like, and here are all the games we've bought, or here are all the devs we bought, and here are what they're working on. But yeah, also, man, what a fucking play. I as much as I don't want to get behind like certain companies, because they're all just fucking trying to nickel and dime us. But it's like, that's such a cool idea in terms of like the boss, like a fucking badass move. Or like Sony was just destroying Xbox, especially after the management at Xbox made such a fucking nightmare hell mistake, where they made the Kinect and shit. And then Phil Spencer, I think, got in at the tail end of all the decisions that they made at that point, and kind of had to be like, yeah, Kinect, sure. And then it all went to shit. And then for Sony to be like, we're the kingpin now, baby. And then for like Microsoft, in the span of like 2 years, just to be like, what if we didn't even try to play this game? What if we just made our own game to play, and did like the Netflix model of things? And then you're just like, okay, because think about it, Game Pass is like $10 a month, right? I was about to say, do you think there could ever be a game that has such fucking insane value, insane like amazingness, just like super developed, you could play like for all the hours of the day and you'd still have plenty of gameplay to play? What is the price you'd be willing to pay for like 4 months with that game? Would it be $40? Would it be like $10 a month of enjoyment? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of contention weirdness there. I think the whole point of when people like buying a game is because they know they can play it forever. There's no like time negation. There's no this scarcity of like, oh no, I'm running out of time to play it, so I better play it now. So yeah, and in fact, that's maybe the thing that Xbox is going to be ready to flip on that switch, is scarcity. The feeling of like, oh, I only have 30 days to play this game. Better play the shit out of it. And that could show in their analytical data that, you know, going up, you know. Nub says Xbox has no need to showcase anything. Microsoft is coming, coasting with Game Pass. Yeah, I assume all they're going to do is showcase the games their devs are working. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's what I would hope. Also, if we don't get a fucking Fable showcase, I'm gonna fucking riot. I'm so mad. At the same time, I also hope it's good. So if as long as when they show it, it looks good. Again, I would love man. I'm just so down bad for Fable. I would take anything. I'll be honest, it's bad. I'm desperate. It's been years. I miss Albion so much. Losing it says, also Grin, I feel like the Data Live community also enjoys Kumari, the one because they made a whole spin-off series, the light novel based on her, and the adventures when I play the Data Live mobile game, she is the character I see people play the most. She even got the spin-off, because she's like a femme fatale that actually cares, which is really weird. She's like a bad bitch that genuinely seems like she's nurturing. It's like they've found a really good sequence with that character. Although, Lone Singer, I feel like companies have the complete wrong perception on a lot of these things. So, for instance, like there was a show I used to watch. I thought was a really fun anime. It was called, what is it called? The Twin Aries twin barrels or something. I don't know. Basically, it was a guy who had like hysteria mode. It was like a main character, and there was like this tiny girl with pigtails who had like double barrel pistols or dual-wielded pistols, and like shot the shit out of everything. She's like a tsundere, weird thing. But people really liked the show, and it was like a fun harem show too. He had like multiple different heroines, etc. But they ended up making a spin-off where it was just the main girl, and nobody watched it. Like nobody. And then they made another example was the Dimache. They made a spin-off where it was Eyes, the blonde girl, and nobody watched it. And it's just like, it's funny because people don't just want the character. People want the stat stick that resonates with the character. They don't just want to see the character do things. They like the interaction that the character is. It's almost like, it's like the difference between liking the idea of somebody and liking the interactions that friendship has. You know what I mean? It's like you can have a celebrity that you listen and like think of, and you listen to podcasts, them talking, but until a person actually starts to like, you start to talk about like when you talk to your friend and you like you're like hanging around a group of friends and you're all resonating, you're all having a good time. That's what people like. That's what brings that like feeling of interest. So when you take away the like kind of stat stick, the resonating kind of like third party, the main character, so to speak, that's when things get really weird, especially when you haven't like done any investment in that character. Like that's what they did in Dimache, where they're like this girl that nobody knew, and they didn't do a good job about like developing her in the spin-off of Dimache, and to where people were kind of like what? Like, no, it's not that Ainz, whatever her name is, isn't cool. It's just that, like, what do you call it? The main character is the kind of stat stick and the hopeful thing we look at the world with. Also, I don't think there's a better main character. Like, the way they do in Dimache, the main guy, the way he like has these weird like one-off comments of like telling this secretary that he loves her as he runs out the door, the way he gets kind of like annoyed, the way he also just says fuck it and charges forward. Like there are these things that people admire about characters, kind of like Deku, like these things that people like, and they like to see that when someone that they like is interacting with someone that they also like. It's kind of like funny when people talk about like waifu meta. It's not that people are, well, some people are, but it's not that people are like, I'm sexually attracted or I'm physically attracted to this person. It's, at least this is my perception, I'm looking at it as if my best like bro dude friend has a bunch of suitors, and I'm like, this is clearly the best version for you. You know what I mean? I'm not like, this is the best version for me. No, it's like, no. Out of all the shitty people here, this is the one that you should be with, the main character, because they're the best. I don't really do the vicarious live through too much there, but to me, that's the way I like. I think I recently watched a comment about people talking about like ranking of waifus as a joke, and to me, I thought it would they kind of dissolved the idea that it's not actually. I think for a lot of people, some people, yes, some people just they're attracted to this and they say that this is the best. But I think a lot of people have this distancing of that effect of like, no, it's, I don't even know if I like the person. Like I wouldn't want to be that person to be my partner because they're fucking toxic in some ways, and it's also crazy. Like they have bad habits, you know. But in terms of this character's commitment to you, in terms of what this character has done for you, it's a clear option. best girl. Like it's weird, but I'm not sure if that makes sense. But to me, that's the way I feel about a lot of the waifu tier list meta thing. It's not about who you like; it's about who is unequivocally the best out of the lot, I guess. Nub says, out of all the companies, I think Microsoft is the least scummy. I agree, Nub. At least that's what it's been right now. But there always is time for them to make their fall to the same demons. It's always like an underdog story. I think Sony was, when they were losing, were pretty interesting and pretty nice. And then when, I think it's just it's a yawing back and forth. Sony kind of fucked up really hard for the last 5 years. No, I agree. With exceptions to some, they still know how to do a good game. They still know how to produce like good games, which I think is just give developers a ton of money and like 5 years, and then like tons of money. Lonziga says, I have read some of the manga for Vampire plus Rosary only up to the volume 3 though. The manga for what I read is very different. It's all because the anime they cut out one character that was important to the plot in the manga, and think about how I think it's one season of the anime would have been better if they had left that one character in there. Interesting. I read it again. I didn't know what that one character is. I remember reading up to a point where you finally see like Skune fucking get turned into a goddamn ghoul, and he looks like a goddamn Chad. It's really cool actually. But I don't remember the character being in there beforehand. Now it says, pretty sure I paid like $40 for Bastion, holy shit, which was like 4 hours of game. But yeah, but I to me though, I think if you were to sell like a game that had like so much game time, so much play time, because my idea is I think Xbox would eventually be like, okay, we'll say we have like, they have basically supported a game, so there's like a paid as a service game, but they keep adding to it, like kind of like Minecraft, like huge updates building on top of each other. That's a bad example. Minecraft hasn't really updated itself in a hot minute. Well, that's not true, they kind of do it, but to say if they like, this is what Xbox is hunting for, this kind of like paid as a service, meaning the residual like need to keep being a part of this, but say they keep adding to it, and then eventually they're like, okay, well, we want to increase our like cost for Game Pass so that we can make even more money. What would be the level in which they would need to do that? Because right now they already have a stupid amount of games, you know? Oh! We got status points. Here's hoping I don't forget them. Nub says, I don't want Fable Showcase because I think every Fable past 1 is kind of shit. I disagree so much. Fake Fable fan is what I would say. No, but if anything, I feel like, Nub, you'd want a Fable Showcase, because that to me is the interesting thing. What do you? Because there's a heavy proclivity for people when they make a reboot to go back to the beginning, to go back to the first one, because that's the one that feels the most different, but also the most nostalgic. So I feel like there's a high probability that that Fable 2 or Fable reboot will literally be a reboot of the first game, but not that, but just like reminiscent of the kind of more detailed art. Really, also Fable 1. I feel like Fable 2 is such a fucking more, like, it has a good bit of the depth, not as much as 1, but also a shit ton of the like combat has been improved. You're not just like, and it's just like very, very sluggish. Lonsica says Scarlet Ammo. Is that the one you're referring to? Maybe. Does it have hysteria mode in it? Because you would know that word if it's the show. I don't think that's what it's called, Fluff. Or no, Lone Sicket. Lone Sicket says, I can't wait till you check out the 2 new spirits on season 4. Yeah, is that their meta? They're adding 2 to the lot and still giving the other ones time to shine. Because I feel like that's the one thing that's insane about Day to Live. Is like we're well past 7, like 7 waifus, and it's like you just gotta feel bad at some point. No one's gonna get enough love at all. It's a bad go of it. I still haven't watched DiMaggio. What? It's so good, Lone Syndicate. Whenever you get to it. Frankly, Rancor of Kings is also great, but Rancor of Kings is good. But I will say, I think DiMaggio has one of the best main protagonists without him being like too complex. Like there are some main protagonists which are like different, like they're kind of assholes or they're kind of like stupid unique. I think the just Dimache main character is like super charming. Like I feel like in the first couple minutes you kind of are sold. Whether you like the other things is the determining factors. Nub says my upper limit for infinite gaming is about $100. Okay, yeah, no, I think the same thing. $100 a month though. I think they would have to be like there'd have to be some sort of deals where they're like you could get Game Pass like what do you call it, $40 or $50, which is $100 of value, but you have a sale or something that makes it so it's less bad. Because I think that's what they're doing. They're like trying to get you into the sale where you get like half a year off, but they just know that Microsoft knows those residuals, and that's also on your fault because it's not actually too hard to cancel, like not anymore, to cancel your Xbox Live subscription. So it's just now that people are like, it's just even the slightest inconvenience, people will be like, nah. It's just too easy to push off. Until you've gotten hit 3 times and you're like, all right, I can't have this happen to me anymore. Let's see. It says, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mako, I think that was her name, bites him, turns him into a vampire temporarily, and it was so yeah. Well, I don't know what the exact things that happened. I just have a baseline understanding. I remember he's like a white hair and shit, and he looked like hollowed, sunken eyes and shit. And you're like, what? Nub says, if I'm going for monthly, it's about $5 a month. If they redo one, they will fuck up Jack of Blades. If I'm going for monthly, is about $5. Oh, I see. Is that so? You're talking about the whole year span of content? Is that what you mean by when you're spending about $5 a month? Would be that what that would be? If they redo one, they will fuck up Jack. No, I don't think they're gonna I don't think Fable is gonna do like a replay of it. I think Fable is going to take inspiration from the first one the most because it's the one that's the furthest away, and also I think there's a lot of reverence. Frankly, if there was a mixture of like the depth that Fable 1 had, as well as like the kind of like really open choice, as well as the kind of like polish and like goofiness of Fable 2, I fucking love Fable 2 though, man. Fable 2 is when they started like really cementing like the glowy skin, but they made it look not shit. It wasn't just like you kind of looked like you had like a weird glowing crown, and said it was like you had these fucking magic graving in your face. Or maybe that was tied to your mana actually. Yeah, I think if you had like a lot of fucking magic, you started like to crack. Dude, there's so many cool ideas in Fable that no one ever uses in RPGs. Like the fact that the more wizard you are, the more your fucking veins glow with blue blood. It's just like glow with fluorescent blue, and you just feel like you're like, yeah, bitch. The only thing that sucks is that there's not a lot of armor that lets you like show like, guess what, bitch? Although I guess mages would just look like weird like, you know, what do you call it? Some sort of dominatrix dudes or whatever with their shirts off and leather straps and shit to see all the crazy veins and whatnot. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave you, I wanted to go check I want to see if I can find that anime that I wanted to show to Lone Cynic. It's like a harem show, but it looks like it's really high quality. If you guys have ever seen the like any clip or trailer of what is it called? It's like The Immortal King, I think is what it's called. It's on Netflix. It's a Chinese anime, I think. It looks really good. It's not dubbed yet. Sad, but yeah. Once again, says, to be fair, Grin, this is actually a lot more. There is actually a lot more waifus than that in the series has it in there, but there are limited spin-offs, and the fans aren't happy that their best girls isn't canon. But when you think about it, we can't have like 20 different girls. Not everyone is gonna get screen time. No, exactly. But it's also funny because I think they always seem to come back, at least the show, and maybe this changes in the future, in the future season, you'll have to tell me. Do they keep coming back to main girl, essentially, like the princess is who she is? Like the first one he ever waifus up. Do they keep coming back to her? Because they seem like that's the catalyst, like that's the stat stick that the game, like the series keeps coming back to. Let us do this big version. Okay, I gotta go look up some stuff. Talk about yourself. can't find it. Give me a minute. Thank you, Sparks. Also, Minecraft. Sorry, we're winding down. Damn it. Stabbed. Couldn't spell a word. Sorry. Sorry. There's a moment in the show. Don't worry about it. Hey, Deep, or D. Hey, D. We're winding down. I wish I could talk to you. I'm trying to find an anime for one of my boys. Okay. Son of a bitch. I can't find it at all. Does it exist? Well, I'll have to find it later. Hey. I'll have to find it later. I can't find it once and I tried. It's in there somewhere in the depths. Oh, I don't know what. Maybe. Well, I'm not done yet. My damn illiteracy with names. Incompetence, not illiteracy. I can't find it. Best stream, I know. Alright boys, I'll get it to you. I'll get you the damn show. I don't know where it is or what it's called. God damn it. And translate, I will never be able to find Let's forget about it. I'll find it. It's impossible to find. It's basically a harem show with like a pink-haired. I think it's like the dude basically gets like contracted by this pink-haired fairy woman, to like go out and like save these girls' hearts. Cringe, I know, but there's like a fucking fit, like fucking workout person, and then there's like a Lolita kind of like goth person. I'll get it to you. All right. Anyways, I thought it'd be right up your alley. I haven't watched it yet because it's not dubbed, because I'm dub trash. But yes. Also, dings are happening. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, before I end it, let me see. Is Lucas, sorry for the dogs. Dogs are just having a great time. They're just, someone's at their house. No, Luca's not streaming. Damn it, I wanted to pay Luca back because Luca's best kind of people. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a video that's going live right now. It is a Death Verse video. So if you like that kind of game, then go check it out as you do. I will Discord message you the movie thing. I promise. I should have been careful about saying that. Anyways, no, I'll get you the name. Lonestar, I promise. But if I went through all this trouble, you better put it on that damn list, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your night. We will be streaming tomorrow. This is a big thing. We will be streaming tomorrow at 11 a.m., okay? Because that's when the Xbox conference happens. We'll be doing it live here, and then it'll be uploaded later onto YouTube. So show up. If you want to hang out, streaming's going to be quite a bit earlier. Actually, like 6 hours earlier, and then some. So, again, tomorrow's stream, we're streaming the Xbox conference. We're streaming it at Twitch. Probably a mistake to stream it on Twitch, but we're doing that. Hopefully I can see you there. Thank you kindly for your time. Enjoy the rest of your night, and goodbye.